Hi everyone, I'm Malika and I'm super excited to chat with Yoda today. Yoda is building a new type of Launchpad initial bond offering. Thank you so much for coming, Yoda.
Thank you very much for having us. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. For how long are you in crypto? Tell us.
Oh, wow. Personally, I'm in crypto almost from the beginning, but I never been involved in actually building anything since 2016. So that was the step that I really started to spend time on actually building and creating project into the space.
Nice. And how you got in crypto, Blake?
So I bought 3-time Bitcoin in the very early days, and 3-time people been able to steal those Bitcoin from me. And I think what drove me into building stuff in crypto was my upsetting with how people abusing other people and take advantage. And as a victim, 3-time victim, very hurtful victim scenarios, I kind of find myself want to find a better ways for myself. And as I'm doing it, helping to other people.
Yeah, interesting. And do you think that now is different and people are more conscious than when you got in crypto?
No, I think now it's more dangerous even than earlier before, because when you start to have mass adoption, people do not due diligence stuff, the following the lead, and that can be a ground floor for bad actor to abuse a lot of poor people that may lose their salaries, their pension, maybe even lifetime saving. There is a big difference between someone that done wrong due diligence because he half professional versus someone that followed the lead and absolutely doesn't know what's going on. That can end up very badly.
Totally, yeah. Totally agree. Thanks. And I think now you can explain the role of Launchpad and its main objective in supporting new crypto projects and how it is being useful for people.
Yeah. So one of the things that is very interesting when people thinking about Launchpad, it's kind of there is let's call it conflict of interest. Okay. In one side, you want to allow project permissionless to come and live, because who am I that will say to you no, right? Who will say that I have a magic ball to see the future and say your project is not worth it? Nobody can say that. Not even the biggest VC in the Silicon Valley can know which one going to make it. So it's unfair that there will be a bunch of people that will decide the future of a project, whether or not you will get this chance. On the other side, there is the users that do not know how to make a decision, and they're basically afraid to invest in stuff that may go wrong. So they're kind of expecting from the intermediate launchpad to do the diligence. And that's understandable why they want it. But on the other side, it doesn't mean that the launchpad themselves know what they're doing. So they can even remove the shield of be suspicion by saying, I'm trusting the launchpad that they know what they're doing, and then just to realize that the launchpad is even worse. So the conflict of interest here, how you protect the users from being a victim, but on the other side, how you do not punish the project just because they didn't fit to the cookie cutter that you just created. And that's a conflict that people do not know how to solve. And when they try to approach to Launchpad, they're choosing side, whether I'm permissionless and I give everybody to launch, and then they said to user, it's your risk, your money, know that you absolutely can lose it all. We saw Launchpad like that, by the way, like Bounce that allow permissionless or Pink and others. But on the other side, you have group of, you can call it DAO or community or cherry picking group of people that going to do the diligence and decide in your behalf. But we also saw that they don't really understand crypto. They're just going by, again, whatever other people saying. And sometimes they don't even go by that. They just go by who paid them and how much, right? So now that we're understanding the problem, the question is how can solve it? How we can build a new kind of launchpad that will change the game. Oh, and by the way, I want to add to the problem another problem that I didn't took under consideration when I explained that. When we say launchpad and project, you need to understand that there are some countries, let's say United States, that they have regulations. And therefore, even if everybody wants to play with each other, the Big Brother in the United States may say you have to comply with X, Y, and Z, and therefore it's not easy going to do that. So the question, can we solve the conflict that we talked about, but also in a way that may going to be complying with regulation in the United States and may allow to US resident maybe the possibility for the first time to engage with such kind of a offering, right? So how it's going to work, what's going on here? So the first thing to understand is that when we're talking about our Launchpad, which is called Initial Bond Offering, it's basically do not allow the project to raise money for the team and marketing and stuff like that. It's only allowed to raise money to the pool. So if project want to raise money for himself, there is other solution, there is other option, there is many other possibilities, but not on our Launchpad that will come to the market. So first, you're only launching and raise money to the pool. The way that you do that is that you need to protect the investors in a way that never been done before, in a way that they cannot lose the money no matter what. Now, I know that a lot of people been in investments and maybe even crypto investment, and there is some phrase that say, if it's too good to be true, probably it's the case, right? And one of the things that we are specialized, and that's why we're working so hard around the clock to bring into the market those kind of solutions, is to build new technology based on quantum finance models. A lot of people don't even know what it is because it's extremely new approaches that allow you simultaneously to have and not have a risk simultaneously, like to be or not to be. It's like quantum, meaning that you're holding multiple position and you're not on the same time. And that's what's fascinating, because we're kind of reinventing the entire industry again by creating new technologies. And the one that we're talking about today is the Launchpad, of course. So I will explain how it works. So the first thing to understand is that the Launchpad that we built is basically attached to a new type of DEX that called Decentralized Regulation Exchange. Okay, and I will talk about the Launchpad, how it works, but first I want to explain the foundation that is built on, which is the DREX, the Decentralized Regulation Exchange. So the Decentralized Regulation Exchange is basically, think about it like you have Uniswap or any other DEX in the world, but over there is no rules, there is no regulation. It's Wild Wild West. You open a pool, you call to people, hey, do you mind to put your money as an LP? And then, hey, you a user, are you willing to trade in the pool? And here you have, again, conflict of interest, because the both user, one want to provide liquidity, the other one want to trade. But when stuff go wrong, let's say market goes sideways or go down, they both try to front run each other. This one want to pull out his money from the pool, shrink in the pool, maybe even sell back the token to the pool in order to cash out before everything collapses. And as he's doing it, he's even starting a snowball. And this guy that is trading rushing in to try to catch up, and suddenly without notice, the entire project go bye-bye under the water. And the main idea of basically Decentralized Regulation Exchange is to allow self-regulation, allow the LP to create their own regulation. And why I'm saying that? Because the LP that puts money in the pool, they are the bank. It's their money. If me and you put money in somebody's pool, we don't need some government to tell us how to lose our money. We can decide how to lose our money by ourselves. So if me and you put money in somebody's pool, we can set up the rules and we can vote on those rules, whatever we want. We can have any type of proposals and say, hey, we want to create a proposal, for example, that nobody can trade in the pool and create more than 5% slippage per day for token X. Or for example, we cannot allow to use our specific wallet to drop the pool more than 2% per wallet. Or if something really happened in the market, like Black Swan event, we can decide that we're closing the pool for 24 hours. Nobody can redeem liquidity, nobody can trade. Exactly like the bank or the government shut down ATM or whatever when you have 9/11 or some Black Swan event, right? Because there is a panic and you want to reduce the panic effect, right? So basically the self-regulation, creating circuit breaker, exactly like you have in the NASDAQ. And you can create a lot of type of circuit breakers, whatever fit for me and you as a LP, we can decide how to protect our money from going down. Now, there is one circuit breaker that me and you will enjoy from, but we cannot change that. And that's what is called the secure flow. That is the best for the initial bond offering that I'm about to introduce in a second. So first I will explain what is secure flow. Secure floor meaning that if somebody open a pool, and let's say you come with a token USDT, which is worth $1, and your company project token, and you put 1-to-1, meaning that you just establish ratio that your project equal to $1, right? That's the ratio. People do it all day long. They open a pool, putting token, putting USDT, or putting token, putting Ethereum, and they're creating a ratio, 1 cent, 10 cent, $1, whatever the launching price is, that's the best line price, right? Now, what you see all the time is that when project launching, and you probably saw it more than once, there is a nice green, maybe a Everest green, but followed by completely deep red. Everybody have the same chart, right? And what's happening is that sometimes people lock, sometimes people front running, sometimes people get panicked, but it doesn't matter how you build your structure and go to the market, always you have that chart that is go green and then big red. If you're an LP, how the heck I can convince you to put money in my project during a bear market? You will never going to agree. And how can I convince you to put money in a project that you don't even know what it is, blindly? You will never going to agree to that either, right? You may going to agree to put money in project that you trust, that you may bought some, some pre-seed or seed or public sale, and you really believe in it, so you think that there will be traffic. But the moment that stuff will smell bad for you, you will be the first to run and leave the ship behind, right? And that's the reality. Now here, with the secure floor, if somebody open a pool and creating a ratio 1-to-1, price can go high as much as you like. It can go from $1 to $10 to $100 to $1,000, from 1 cent to 10 cent to $10, whatever. And you can fluctuate it with or without circuit breakers, like I explained. But there is one thing that cannot happen. Price can never, ever, never go below the initial price. Never. It cannot happen. And the reason is because once the price go up, the moment that people start to sell, the smart contract, the moment that you will reach back to ratio 1-to-1, it will trigger the circuit breaker, the secure floor, and it will stop the trading. It will not allow the price to go below 1-to-1. So what it's telling you is that if you open a launchpad, if you go to a launchpad, and let's say you're coming over here and you're creating a bond because it's based on bond, and you're putting your smart contract, you're putting the allocation, you offer to people, let's say 50% discount, like usually you do. You create, if you want a refund, whatever is not sell or you want to burn it, you create how much money you want to raise. And after that, you approve it. Once you approve it and everything is good to go, then what's happening is that you have an IBO up and running. And then everybody that invests in your IBO can now be in position that, so if somebody going to invest in your IBO, what will happen is that first he can deploy money. Let's say you deploy $100, you will get 50% discount. So let's say you will get $100 plus you will provide the token. So it's another $100, you will get $200, 50% discount. And he will hold a bond that's holding the LP. And then what will happen is that first, the price can never go below the initial price, which means whoever going to invest in the IBO theoretically can invest blindly. You can go and spread dollar here, dollar there on any type of project that you like. You don't even care if it's a real project, if it's a fake project, if there's somebody that claims that he can be the best of the best, or someone that is hoped to be the best of the best. You can invest blindly. And the worst case scenario is you're not going to do money. The worst case scenario is that you'll get your money back with the same token that you invest. Let's say you put ETH or USDT, you'll get it back, but it can never go below the initial price. But it's also protecting the project. If the project put in the bond, let's say $200 of token, and you basically injecting if you put $100 of token and you put $100 of USDT, then what will happen, you get $200 of value of tokens. And the moment that you will want out, let's say you're ALP that you don't want to be anymore, you want to cash out, you want to leave, you want to move on. The moment that you're selling the bond, you will get your money plus the profit, but any leftover of token that never been sold, you're not going to get. You're not going to get them and become to be a dumper. They're going back to the project. So basically, if you remember, a lot of projects doing Launchpad, and number one, promising to investor, I'll put the money in the pool. Don't worry, 80, 60, 70% will go to the pool. Number one, who is going to find them accountable for that? Number two, if they're holding the LP, what prevents them to do rug pull and take the money day after? Number three, if I will give you a token because you ask 50% discount in exchange for contribute and help the project and you didn't perform, how do I get my money back? How do I get the token back? How do we prevent from you to be a dumper and dump on everybody else? So all those conflicts of interest basically solved with this type of launchpad. It's basically permissionless to allow any project to launch any project whatsoever, and people can invest blindly on any type of project. They cannot lose the initial offering because it's not possible from code point of view. And if something go well, the sky is the limit, but at least they know where they're standing. Does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you. And does it already work? How many projects?
No, we're doing testing right now. It will be live on all the EVM. The top EVM, we'll bring it to the top EVM first. During April, which is kind of months in a change, we'll bring it live. And not only that you will be the first decentralized regulation exchange that ever been exist, but also it will be the first launchpad that is permissionless, and whoever invests in it cannot find himself in scenario that he may lose his initial fund. And as I mentioned before, United States, but everybody, I don't want somebody to find me accountable that I promise stuff because I'm not attorney. Everybody can check it out with their own country regulation. But if somebody doing some due diligence on United States, if a project do not engage with the money, it can never touch the money, it can never cash out from the money, you never give him the money. Basically, all the time holding the money in the pool and you can take it back. It's kind of like a self-custody holding. So it's the first time that you put money in investment as a self-custody, project do not get it, right? And therefore it's not a security because he never sold you anything and he never received from you any payment, right? So it may apply and comply with regulation, meaning that it will be able to open. But if someone still want to say, I don't want to welcome everybody, I want to do KYC, there is a KYC solution for that as well, built inside of the IBO.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, thank you. And do you want to add anything else regarding the project?
I want to be clear that when it comes to our industry, and that's what's fascinating, is that a lot of people copy other people. And I understand people don't understand tech, they don't understand the needs. There is many people that want to be involved, but there is very few that they're innovator and know how to create. And unfortunately, we don't have a lot of bull runs. We have one bull run every period of time, and we cannot afford ourselves to bring to the market poor solutions and keep copying them and causing for people to lose money, because you have very few fairy tales, right? Very few Cinderella stories about how somebody deploy a door and become a billionaire. There is no much stories of such kind of stuff. It's really, really rare. All I hear all day long is how people put a lot of money and turn it to be 1 cent. So I heard all the time hearing the other side, and all I see in front of my eyes is that somehow the public all the time pay the bill, all the time left on the cold. And who make money? Project make money, scammer make money, launchpad make money, everybody make money except the investors, the public, the small person, and the project that do not look sexy to you because you think that they're not fit to the cookie cutter. They are left behind. They're to the one to be struggled. There was more than 2 million tokens in the market. Now I know that not every one of them is a project, solid project. 2 million. How many successful projects do we have? Go to CoinGecko, one page, second page. How much? 200, 300, maybe 500 out of 2 million? And this bull run probably will have 6 million. I mean, it's phenomenal amount of projects. The conversion rate to success in our industry, it's worse than the startup industry. Worse. So we have to build better future and better tools for everybody to increase that conversion rate. Those that investing and those that basically launching.
Totally. Yeah, thank you. And speaking about launchpads in general, what are the criteria of projects that other launchpads, like traditional launchpads, ask, and the difference and the initial bond offering, the criteria of your launchpad?
So basically, when you apply to other launchpad, they want to know who you are, who your mother, where you came from, where you're going, who investing in you, does he have a lot of followers, what he eat yesterday for dinner. I mean, somebody checking you out like he know better, right? And it's not fair. It's because there is a lot of great projects out there that want to innovate. And yes, there is bad actor, but there is a very good guys that want to innovate, and they don't know other people. They don't know how to do the right thing by doing the marketing and moon schmoon I will give you $100 if you join today and bring your entire family. And then you realize that it's a poor country, that you have 1 million users, but none of them have $1 in the pocket in order to be a real investor. It's all about shit show. Everything here is pretending, and it's not okay. It's not right. Something not going well, and people still keep doing it. And we decided that we do not going to play that game. We're going to do a permissionless launchpad, but in a way that not only allow you to invest blindly in any project that you like, but also to be in a position that if you make a wrong decision, and you're definitely going to make a wrong decision, statistically you have to, at least you're not losing your money. I mean, if 98% of your choices will be wrong, worst case scenario, try again.
Yeah, that's very that's interesting. And speaking about Web3 in general, what do you expect from the future of Web3 and of Launchpads?
I think there is I'm not a favorite of DAO stuff. I know that everybody exciting about DAO schmao, and all I see from my perspective point of view, I see a conflict. I see a majority that try to detect by voting what's good for them, and they have all the right to decide what's good for them, but then they're running over, they're raping the minority, right? Or I see minority that's holding some special rights, and then they're taking hostage the majority. And that's how governments works, countries works, and I don't think the blockchain should follow that broken system. I think all the DAO stuff, they're wrong. They feel okay, kumbaya, right? Everybody wants to be together, but it's not okay. Because even if 99% of the people want to vote, you should not have the right to run over the little person that do not agree with you. So you need a better system that everybody can somehow, in a quantum position, can be together, but also be alone and execute what's good for you without being dictated by other people what's good for them and forcing you for that. So I think the current system is wrong. I think the way that people bring into the crypto, they bring whatever they're familiar in the real life, which we already know that is wrong. They try to bring whatever we know from the government and from the companies and from the insurance and from whatever it doesn't work in the real life, they try to copy and mimic into the crypto industry. And I think the crypto industry needs to be decentralized in a way that everything could work together, but everything working as a standalone as well. That's the right way how to do it.
Yeah, thanks. And could you please give an advice for someone new in crypto?
So the thing is that when it comes to investment, somebody has a hope to make money, and therefore he has a risk that you need to take. That's how the real world used to work every time. The higher risk, higher reward. It usually go together. And I think for those that they are sophisticated and those that especially non-sophisticated, they should not go after what you should make money from. They should go after what you should most likely less lose and how much you can afford to lose. And I think once you're creating a floor, because you can only imagine the ceiling, you cannot really see it, but the floor you can create. You can say, this is my bottom line. That's how much I'm willing to risk. That's how much I'm willing to expose myself to. So once you're creating the floor, you know that that's your starting point and could be even your end point, by the way, but you're hoping for more. And I think people sometimes going into the space without a floor, I think they just coming in and see other people's Cinderella stories, how they become to be rich overnight, and they're just deploying unreasonable amount to unreasonable ventures without think. And I think that's a big no-no. Now, since I know that people are not rational, so everything that I told you right now, it's what my advice will be. But I have to tell you and advise you that nobody going to listen to that advice, not even me, because we're a human being. And at the moment of emotional, we have a FOMO. We all have a FOMO. So nobody can really execute that advice. Knowing that that's how the mind works and human being behave, we decided to basically help them to help themselves. So we create a floor for them. So we say, okay, you want to be FOMO, you want to go after every project, you want to go after blindly every project, fine. Go with your senses, go with your emotion, go with your passion. But at least we know that you cannot lose your money. So that's why we create the floor, because that's my advice for people. But I know that nobody really able to execute an advice like that on the time of passion. So that's why we create technology that help you to help yourself.
Thank you so much, Yoda, and thank you for your time and for your presentation and for such an informative chat. I really enjoyed it and hope it's gonna be useful for everyone.
Absolutely. Waiting for April to take live this platform and see how it will fly.
Yeah, we will put the information about the Launchpad in the description of the video. Thank you so much again.